Hey guys, Yes.Fit fam, Chris here. Once again, welcome to another Yes.Fit vlog. Today we're going to be talking about macros, super popular subject, and something that a lot of you guys want to know about. I have Amber Chancey with me. She is a macro coach. A little bit about her. She found her passion for fitness through a number of accomplishments from competitive cheerleading, from boxing and CrossFit, just to name a few. Amber's love for CrossFit even got her father involved, which we can discuss with her, a pretty cool thing. She's found another passion through the pursuit of health and fitness, and that brings her to her being a macro coach. She's a busy mom, so she has a lot of things to do, and so she's been able to find ways to get her nutrition into her busy schedule. So let's welcome to the vlog, Amber. Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Welcome, good. So tell me right away, how did you get your dad involved in CrossFit?
So it's a funny story. We were boxing for several years to get me lean for my wedding. Mm-hmm. And then I said, you know what, let's just try something different. We're bored. So we went to a CrossFit gym, our local box. We walked in and there was somebody up on the rings doing a ring muscle up. And he was like, we gotta go. Yeah. I can't do this. This is not for us, Amber. And I was like, let's just do one class. So we did, and well, we joined that night, and we've been doing it ever since. The rest is
history.
Yeah.
And I work out with him all the time. It's crazy.
He's a cool dude.
He's crazy. All right, so as a macro coach, you know, it's one of our big topics here at Yes.Fit. A lot of all of our members or customers have been asking about nutrition. So lots of things are out there, you know, lots of different diets. Yeah. Lots of different fads, is what you can call it. Some have stayed, or some have stayed and then switched names. Yep. Right? So why and then me being, you know, in the fitness industry, we've been hearing about macros a lot, right? Mm-hmm. So what should folks be focusing on it? Like, what are macros in general?
Okay, so macros. So the first reason why I like it above all the other fad diets, is all of them are going to work to some extent because you're going into a calorie deficit in one way or another. But macros is great because it allows you the flexibility to continue it for the rest of your life. It teaches you about food. So when you count macros, you're forgetting about calories. You're just looking at fats, proteins, and carbs. They're all going to have a calorie associated with the grams that you're eating. And that way you know you're getting enough of each one so that you can work out, so that you feel good. And that's why we go the macro route instead of the fad diet route.
Okay, so just as like a quick question. So like pizza, all right, or potato chips. I mean, are they all have different macro numbers, right?
Yep, they all have different ones.
Is it kind of like, you know, there's other diet plans and stuff that count numbers, or it's associated with a number on it, and it's very popular as well, and it's been around for many years. So what is the difference between that type of program and like just counting them out? Is it specifically catered to that person? So are you assessing that person's lifestyle and what they want to achieve, and then is that how you adjust your numbers for that?
Yes. So I look at how they're training, what they want to accomplish, because obviously if you're in maintenance or you just want to train hard, you can eat a ton more food. Otherwise, you need to be going into a calorie deficit. So that's how I kind of determine what every client gets. But those other ones that you're talking about, they're figuring out a calorie associated with that food. Okay. And instead, I'm saying, hey, let's fill these 3 buckets instead of just an overall calorie bucket. Okay. It's just going to make your body composition look a bit better than if you were to eat all of your food from fat. Mm-hmm. You know, you're getting a more well-rounded diet.
Okay. So, from what you were saying, so we're counting them. I guess there's a specific number that we need to get to.
Correct. For
at least myself, for somebody who's just starting. Why is it super important for you to help them count macros, or to understand and educate them about macros?
So it's important because once you understand what foods are, like what bucket they fall into, then eventually the ultimate goal is to not have to count anymore. You get to this happy maintenance place, and then you've counted for so long and you've looked at labels that you understand, hey, butter is a fat, and chicken is a protein, and cheese is a fat, and fruit are carbs. It's just making you understand what foods are instead of looking at what society will tell you. You know, when you go look at a peanut butter carton, what is the first thing it says on the front? 7 grams of protein. But what they neglect to tell you is there's 16 grams of fat. So you need to understand the label and not just look at the first thing that's on the front of the food.
So we have members that are going to get into counting macros, and hopefully in future discussions with you that you can help them do that. The biggest thing, and it's a big entry point, is when you start diet stuff like this. They get in there, they look at the peanut butter, and they're like, okay, I have to do this, I have to count it. So there is a level of work that they have to do up front.
Right.
So how do you encourage them to not be discouraged doing
So
that? Yeah.
I kind of assess where my clients are at. Like if you've come in and you've kind of lived a somewhat healthy lifestyle and you've maybe counted calories, then you're going to understand food a little bit better. But if you're someone who's never really looked at a label or just done a fad diet, then we're going to take baby steps. The first week we're just going to track food. I don't even care if it's 2 boxes of cookies. I just want you to track it because that's a habit. And then we're going to start to look at protein, and then once we can successfully hit that, we'll worry about carbs and fats later on. But it's those small changes that will lead to it. You're not overnight going to say, hey, I'm going to count everything that goes into my body.
So now, do you have, as a macro coach, do you have a specific way for them to track? Because I can tell you right away, I would just ask you, hey, can I just use this smartphone app to do it? I'm just going to type it in. It's so much easier for me to do it, or take a picture, and the app kind of like will register it for the nutrition. I mean, is that a way that you teach your clients and stuff, or do you have a totally different way, or do you suggest a way to do it so that way they are a better, knowledgeable at it?
So what I prefer my clients to do if they're in like the beginner intermediate stage is I have a spreadsheet and they manually enter everything.
That's a lot.
It is.
Yeah.
It is a lot of work.
Yeah.
It is a hard first 2 weeks, but then everything's in there. And then once there is a trust built up between me and the client, and I know that they understand the food that they're putting into their body, then sure, let's use an app.
Yeah.
But the app becomes a problem for me when you enter in something that's not a verified food because it's got lower numbers, or you start telling me, hey, I'm hungry, and I don't see your spreadsheet of what you've eaten. So you could be hungry because you chose to go and have a giant McDonald's meal. And which is great, right? But it's not because you're actually hungry, you're just making bad choices.
So, I mean, I would think that by putting it in the spreadsheet too adds a little bit more, obviously more complexity in somebody's life by literally having them have to prioritize looking at the food, but at the same time it's a little educational.
Yes.
And it keeps them, and now it integrates that part of, having a balanced diet. And I think that's something that a lot of folks, I don't think understand that, I'm just gonna follow this diet plan and do it, but I think part of it is the educational part that I don't think about.
Right, because the problem with most of these fad diets is they're great while you're in them, but they didn't teach you anything, and they're not sustainable for your entire life. So what happens when you get out? You've lost 15 pounds, awesome. Okay, let's see how long it takes you to gain it back, and then pick a new fad diet, because you have no idea how to maintain your weight loss. And you never get to this happy point of maintenance.
So with these types of diets, and it seems like it's adjustable. So is this also adjustable to folks with different dietary restrictions? So pescatarians, vegetarians, folks with plant-based diets and stuff like that. So does that work? Is it very adjustable for that?
Oh, super adjustable. My meat eaters obviously are going to have a little bit easier time getting their protein in. If you're plant-based, you have to be a bit more creative. But that just takes a little bit more time, really researching in the grocery store, and sometimes we adjust the carbs and fats up a little bit just so that you can meet your protein goals.
Now, we have our members, and they are running out there, and I know it's the middle of the summer, and they're running and stuff like that, and folks that are just getting off the couch, and they're going out for walks to get these medals, and the well-deserved medals that they get. Now, I hear it all the time from even my clients, like, I don't really eat before I work out, or I eat right before, and this is what I eat, or is there, something that you can tell them about what a general amount of time that they should have before they eat? Because like for me, I found out 30 to 45 minutes seems to be okay. I mean, is that something that is standard for somebody that's like, or is that something that they have to be like a trial and error thing?
So a lot of it is going to be trial and error, just because, there's some people that can eat right before, like I can do that and I'm totally fine, but then there's other people that's going to make them sick to their stomach. If you go to the gym at 5 a.m., then maybe you don't eat before the workout, but you need to make sure you eat after the workout. Basically, you need to make sure your workouts are surrounded by food so that you can repair the damage that you've done to your body.
Now, does that affect macros? Like, does that affect the numbers that you do? Like, if I don't eat before the workout, do I have to hit a number before I work out?
Nope.
No, it just has to be fulfilled throughout the day.
Yep, throughout the day, however you want it. Now, if you are doing like a high intensity workout or a run, you are probably going to want carbs in your system because that is going to be your fuel source.
Okay.
But I would test it out. Try a bar before your workout. Try some fruit before your workout or your run, especially because that's going to hydrate you. And then afterwards, make sure within the first hour or two afterwards, you get some solid protein into your body, whether that's a shake or you go eat a meal, just something so that your body can repair itself.
Okay, so it just seems like there is the variable ways to, eat and track just depending on the type of activities that you have.
Right.
So for instance, like CrossFit, or if I'm weightlifting or running outside, or maybe not doing anything today, it's like a rest day. So it's just, as long as that macro number is hit for your body type and your diet plan, that
then
seems to
solid.
be work right.
Yep.
So this takes me to kind of like our last section, our last question. So we gave a lot of information to our members, and it's great information. It is also a lot, so it's a lot to track. So if there's somebody out there wanting to, get into the macro life, right? And what are some takeaways that you can tell them? Is there like a top 3 things that they need to do? Like, what are some baby steps that you would tell those types of clients that have not done this before?
Yep. So I would tell them to make a list of all the habits that they want to adopt. Try one out. As soon as you can master that for 7 to 14 days, let's move on to another one. So the first one I would say is track your food, no matter what it is. Just track your food for that many days. And once you are successful, then start looking at your protein content. Then maybe start tracking your water because you need to be hydrated. Even if you're just walking outside, water is important. Track all of the things that are going to make you successful, but it's not an all or nothing. I would just do one thing at a time and then keep adding to your list.
That's awesome. Thank you, Amber. Do you have Instagram and plug your Instagram?
I do. It's mymacro.life.
Macro, okay. All right, Yes.Fit fam, that is it for our What is Macros vlog. So I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in today. Don't stick around for more vlogs coming up, and also thank Amber again for being here, guys. Thank you. We'll see you guys next time.